Okay, everyone. When you first start your ArcMap installation up, as you get going, just the initial installation, you might be a little frustrated to figure out how to add data here because we're used to working with software products like Microsoft Office or something like that, where we might go here to File and say, hey, I want to open data, but it turns out that when you do that, you can only add in map documents. And in my classes anyway, I usually liken a map document to a recipe, whereas we're looking to add data, like the ingredients of a recipe, to our project in order to start mapping and doing analysis. So when you work with the file menu here, you're dealing with your recipes, and what we want to do is add in ingredients. So let's go to the Add Data button here, which is how we get data into an ArcMap map document or map project. So we click the Add Data button, and you might notice there's a little arrow next to it. The down arrow will give you other options. This would be a streaming base map from the internet or data streaming from the internet. I'd advise against using this in most of your GIS classes unless your instructor tells you about how to use it, because these data are of varying quality and from a wide variety of sources, ranging from very reputable international institutions down to your neighbor who's just fiddling around with data online. In this case, we want to just click on the main button or click on the down arrow and click Add Data. And what this will do is it shows us our folder connections. There's actually lots of different ways to get tools and data into ArcMap, but in this case we want to add a new folder connection. Perhaps I have data stored on the D drive of my computer or in a specific folder that I'd like to connect to. And so what we want to do is connect to a folder. And this is a holdover from the days when ArcGIS had to have a working folder. We don't have that at this point in time, but it's also necessary for things like enterprise connected geodatabases, in other words, multi-user data environments or internet connected resources. So in this case, let's connect to a folder, and I'll just connect to my D drive on this computer. Now, why would I connect to a D drive versus an individual folder, let's say my temp folder here or Dropbox? Well, it's usually good practice in ArcGIS to connect to a root drive, especially if it's not your system drive. In this case, D is not; it's separate from my system, so you don't have a million of these folder connections. Over time, you'll find these build up, and that can be very frustrating because you have trouble actually isolating the place that you're looking for data in. So in this case, maybe I want to add data from this class. I can add in geographic data or table data. Maybe I add in a table data for the second week class activities, and you just browse through here in this case like any other file management box. But the thing that's important is in order to access data in ArcMap, you have to connect to the folder in which it resides or one that sits above it in a hierarchy of folders. So, for example, here I might have a hierarchy of folders on the D drive. There's my Dropbox folder, and within that there's another one. See how it kind of bumps in? That would be a folder hierarchy. So if I connect to 401.501, I actually, in my folder connections here, I can just go directly to the folder for this class. Anyway, that's how you connect to a folder, and it is a little esoteric. It's a little unique to ArcGIS, but that would be the way you do it through the Add Data button. You can also do it through the catalog pop out here. There's a little button, Connect to Folder, or in the standalone Arc Catalog application, it can be done as well.